Cadillac's V-Series performance sub-brand is finally entering its electric era with the 2026 LYRIQ-V. And we already know how we feel about the standard LYRIQ. Make sure to watch one of our many videos on that car by clicking up above. Hint, hint, we really like that one. But adding the V badge, does that make this more like an electric Blackwing or just a faster LYRIQ? Also, remember 10 things I hate about you? Ground clearance on this model is roughly 9/10 of an inch lower than the standard LYRIQ, and you can definitely see that from all angles. This thing is pretty much slammed to the ground. Brembo 6-piston performance brakes come standard on all LYRIQ-Vs, but only up here on the front wheels. You can add low metallic linings to all four wheels for $100, and if you want all four brake calipers to be painted red, the factory will do that for you for $595.
The wheels that wrap those brakes are 22 inches no matter which design you go for. There are 3 to choose from, one even comes with a red perimeter accent. They're wrapped in either Continental Performance summer tires or optional Michelin all seasons. The V's front and rear fascias also receive more aggressive treatments than the Sports, all tastefully done in moderation. Up top, all LYRIQ-Vs come with some form of a glass roof and black paint, but the V-Series premium trim has a power sliding panel for unlocking open air fun.
Stepping inside the LYRIQ-V, there really are no surprises in here. So, sitting in the front seat, you'll see the steering wheel has the light bar that signifies that you have Super Cruise equipped, and that is because every LYRIQ-V will come standard with it for 3 years, and then a subscription service after that. You either have this black with blue accents or an Oxford gray, which to me looks like a beige. That's the more grown-up color. This is definitely the darker, sportier one, and I'm glad they offer that, but I do wish they offered it on the base trim as well.
Just beyond that super steering wheel is a super cool head-up display with augmented reality navigation visuals. This is not a novel feature, as the Germans and Koreans have been offering iterations of this for a minute now, but it is a welcome addition here and it works pretty well. It doesn't have the most advanced movements like what you'll find on Mercedes-Benz products, but it is still pretty interesting to see it at work. The V here has a leg up on the regular LYRIQ with 4 additional speakers and Dolby Atmos integration with its AKG surround sound audio system, though both of those additions are expected to make it onto the 2026 LYRIQ.
Moving on to mechanical details now, it's worth noting that for this model year, the LYRIQ-V still comes with the CCS charge port, unlike its upcoming little sibling, the Optic V, which for 2026, just like this, actually has the NACS port right here. Now you will be able to get the NACS adapter from GM for $225, but because of the timing of the development of this car, they just couldn't squeeze the actual port onto the production model. So better luck next year, LYRIQ-V.
So what can you expect as far as range and charging times? Well, under the floor you've got a 102 kWh lithium-ion battery, a very familiar number for the GM EV battery platform, which delivers 285 miles of range if you aren't driving it at 9/10 all the time. The V comes with GM's choice of 11.5 kilowatt or 19.2 kilowatt AC chargers, the latter only found on the V-Series premium trim. This is of course for home or public level 1 and 2 charging, but 19.2 kilowatt capable stations are not exactly common in public, so the only way to really get the most out of that kind of power is if you also grab GM's Energy PowerShift charging module for your home, which isn't cheap. With that though, you would be able to add 75 miles back into the battery every hour. Otherwise, the 11.5 kilowatt unit on the base trim will do 44 miles per hour.
A lot of you watch, but not all of you are subscribed. If you would do us a favor, please make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. And if you want even more helpful tips on cars like finding a fair purchase price on a new vehicle like the Cadillac LYRIQ-V, make sure you hit the button that's popping up above the screen right now. Now when it comes to public DC fast charging, the LYRIQ-V, just like the standard V, can do up to 190 kilowatts, which translates to roughly 76 miles back in the battery in 10 minutes. Again, just like the standard LYRIQ. But if you're looking at high performance alternatives like the Three Musketeers from Korea, those cars are definitely going to outcharge this Cadillac LYRIQ. And spending less time charging between lap sessions of the track is always ideal.
Now when I refer to the Korean Three Musketeers, I'm talking about the Hyundai Ioniq 5, Kia EV6, and Genesis GV60, but there are a slew of other two-row electric crossovers with sub 4 second 0 to 60 times, like the Jeep Wagoneer S, Porsche Macan Electric, and Polestar 4.
With Padua High School out in the distance, let's talk about how the LYRIQ-V drives. This is of course the most powerful Cadillac ever produced. They're claiming a 0 to 60 time of 3.3 seconds, which we got to test earlier off the line in a closed off parking lot. It was a little bit downhill, a downhill slope, so it kind of helped with our times, but I was able to get 3 seconds flat, 0 to 60 in this very, very heavy Cadillac SUV, which is very, very impressive. But does that really make this a V? But when I think about what the regular LYRIQ is like to drive, the things that stand out to me are its steering feel, the fact that it has a little bit of a slower steering ratio, and the super long wheelbase, which of course makes this feel like a much bigger car than it is on the outside, at least compared to your normal gas car. So here in this, we do have a tighter steering ratio, so the steering is going to be quicker from turn to turn, and you can definitely feel that, but it's actually not quite as noticeable here as it is when you put it into one of the V modes. There's a V mode, there's a competitive mode on top of that, and you can also, of course, put this in Velocity Max, which is going to give you the most all-out power you can possibly get and braking performance.
That straight line performance is thanks to more powerful electric motors in the front and back, and a launch mode that, when paired with Velocity Max mode, yields the best drag strip results of any production Cadillac in history. A forceful mashing of the brake pedal, followed by flooring the accelerator pedal, brings up the pending launch, and once you lift your left foot off the brakes, this Caddy bursts with the abrupt acceleration you have come to look forward to in performance EVs. Once again, you're left in shock by how something this dense can go from a standstill to dangerously high speeds so swiftly. The LYRIQ-V weighs just shy of 3 tons, so the brakes have to work overtime to bring it back to a stop. The Brembos seem to be capable enough after a few goes, but if they were to take this V a step further into Blackwing territory, I think it would behoove them to add a set to the rear wheels too.
So like right there, I mean, it's neck-snapping acceleration, and the dual-motor all-wheel drive LYRIQ, that's already a pretty quick vehicle, but GM tuned that one to have a more relaxed acceleration buildup. This, it's that kind of experience. The ride quality, as far as I'm concerned, actually in the normal drive modes feels very, very much like your standard LYRIQ, which is not a bad thing at all. This is meant to be a very comfortable car for those who don't really need to go super fast, but now that we have something that can go super fast while also being sort of soft and plush, you'd think that this would kind of be even more sloppy than the regular LYRIQ, but because we have adaptive dampers from Sachs equipped on this car, we don't have the magnetic ride suspension, but we do have the adaptive dampers. This does do a really good job at soaking up all of the imperfections and making sure that things like railroad tracks are handled with grace. There are a lot of railroad tracks around where I'm driving right now, and I've gone over a few, and you hear them, but you barely feel them. So this is still a very sophisticated suspension setup. I would like to see the magnetic ride come to this, but we got some hints today that there's potential for a LYRIQ-V Blackwing in the future. They, of course, wouldn't outright say that, but there are some things that they could tweak to give you that extra, next level performance, and that might be one of those things. This car also has increased final drive ratios for more accurate and potent torque delivery, and just a couple of other upgrades, of course, with the powertrain. The electric motors, they're more powerful. You're going to get 615 horsepower if you put this thing in Velocity Max mode. Otherwise, we actually don't have a horsepower number. All versions and all settings will have 650 pound-feet of torque, which is plenty for a car this size.
And putting that power to work outside of a straight line is pretty rewarding if you know how to manage the weight. If you're more experienced, like my on-camera example Joel Fetter from The Drive, you'll understand that a car this fast and heavy should be taken more gently into the curves and pushed harder out of them. What Cadillac was unable to do with this particular V model was give it any sort of sensation of a trimming down. There are better examples out there of high-performance EVs that can magically dance with more grace than their weight suggests. The LYRIQ-V makes a massive improvement over the standard car here, but I'd say there is still more work to do. That kind of work, however, requires demand from a different kind of customer than what Cadillac is shooting for with this car.
Regen braking is just the same here as it is on the standard LYRIQ and every other GM EV. Very easy to figure out, very easy to modulate, and it's easily turned off by a button right on the touchscreen at the top if you want. So no complaints with the brake feel. We do have some really impressive brakes here, and during the 0 to 60 and the autocross we've done today, you've definitely felt their might. You can definitely tell they're doing a lot of work to stop this very, very heavy vehicle.
Already digging into the configurator online, you'll find 2 trim levels available, the V Series and V Series Premium. The base trim starts at $80,090, including destination, and gives you enough content that you might not need to upgrade to Premium. It comes with the same performance numbers, as well as the AKG Studio 23 speaker audio system, a glass roof, Super Cruise, the augmented reality head-up display, and Intellux trimmed seats. For $85,290, Premium adds Napa leather trimmed seats, a power sliding panoramic glass roof, and the 19.2 kilowatt AC charger for faster home or public level 2 charging. Premium paint colors range from $625 all the way up to $3,995 for the extremely limited availability Magnus Metal Frost.
So after spending a brief amount of time with the new LYRIQ-V and talking to the developers and engineers that made it happen, it's pretty clear to me that this is sticking very firmly to the existing V series formula. And what do I mean by that? Well, they're not calling it V Blackwing for a very good reason. It's just missing the extra steps needed in order to meet that sort of requirement, meet the needs of a Blackwing badge. Yes, this is fast. Yes, it is more dynamic than a regular LYRIQ, but I'm just kind of wishing for a little bit more. I wish it had a little bit more drama to it. And there's only so much you can do with an EV, but we've already seen how other brands have made very, very successful efforts at making high-performance EVs fun to drive and feel more like the existing gas experience. But if that doesn't matter to you, this is an excellent option that looks good, has amazing tech on the inside, excellent hands-free driving, and a decent amount of range for how much power we have here. So for the price, I think this is a pretty good option if you are in the luxury space. But if you want something just a little bit more fun, I'd wait for the potential V Blackwing if we ever do get one.